Hi, this is Jodi Jackson Tucker, and today on Second Mother, I'm joined by my daughter, Mackenzie. I have a lot of kids, some by marriage, some by adoption, one foster son, and I have one biological child sitting right here. So I thought you might be interested to hear a little more about our family, and then also hear about Kenzie's experience growing up in such a diverse, mixed adoptive family. So, Kenzie, throughout your life, new siblings have been added.
Yes.
To your family. None the usual way.
Right.
What was that like for you growing up?
Yeah. So I get that question a lot, especially from people who are considering adoption or considering foster care. If you have biological kids, your first concern is, how will this affect my biological child?
Right.
And I think, first of all, I want to validate that concern. Like, of course, you're protective of your biological children, whether you have them already or you just know we might adopt first, but what if we want bio kids? So that's a very valid concern. It just means you love your children. But I would say to anyone from my experience, the first thing is expect challenges with any sibling relationship. You know, if you grew up with siblings, whether your mom gave birth to your sibling or adopted your sibling, there are sibling rivalries, especially if the children are younger. There's jealousy of the new sibling. All of that is normal. And so just to quiet some of those fears, when you hopefully foster or adopt a child, if there are tensions or conflict or jealousy, that is normal. It doesn't mean you did the wrong thing. And I think, you know, the normalcy of it is what people are maybe not expecting or overlooking. Like, at the end of the day, we are brothers and sisters. We love each other. We fight. We get along. We steal each other's clothes. We do all the things that regular siblings do. We listen into each other's phone conversations and then gossip about, you know, I think so-and-so is dating this person. I mean, it's the same that you would have with your biological sister or brother. It's just obviously the beginning of that process is different. You have to get to know each other in a unique way.
What was something hard that you faced?
I think the hardest, or I guess I should say the steepest learning curve, was that very beginning. So my adopted siblings were not adopted as newborns. They were mostly, one of my sisters was a newborn, but I was 3. So to me, a newborn from my mom, or, you know, born from someone else,
You weren't quite
I
sure
didn't
where
know the
babies
difference.
came from anyway, right?
Exactly.
Right.
I'm like, it's a baby, you know.
You thought they came from New Jersey.
Exactly, don't they? And so, yeah, so the siblings who were older, there is a little bit of that arranged marriage element to it,
right.
where you've committed to something already.
Yeah. You, the parents.
And the siblings. So,
yeah.
And one thing I want to credit my mom for, I was part of the conversation when we were deciding to adopt. Even with my littlest sister, where I was only 3, we adopted her as a newborn. I still remember conversations that we had when I was tiny. So I think that that's really important, is respect the autonomy of your biological child, explain the importance of this and why it matters, and how your brother or sister is still your brother or sister, no matter what. But yeah, I remember making that choice. Like, I'm committed to these people being my family, but you don't know them yet. So when they move in with you, there is that experience of like, oh my gosh, truly, people are living in my house and I don't know them. And they're going to keep living here forever.
I have to get along with them.
Yes. Or you don't. I mean, some days you won't. But it's all about that choice to commit.
Yeah.
And say, I've chosen to love this person. And how do I walk that out? How do I get to know them? How do I be patient? And be patient with myself. Like, you know, if your biological kids find that they need some alone time, or if they feel overwhelmed with the changes in the family and they have new, you know, hobbies or new quirky behaviors of how they're dealing with it, that's also normal. So that's what I would say is like the hardest part, is that learning curve of just a new human being.
I think it's really amazing that you brought up that issue of making the choice.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the lessons that we talk about in the Bible study,
Yes.
Second Mother, which is that choosing to cleave. That's one of the
Absolutely.
lessons for the parent, for the child. And you've shown me, this isn't in the book because we didn't rehearse this. You've shown me that also was a choice you had to make. You had to choose to cleave to your siblings. That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
So what was something joyful or funny, or what do you remember that fills your heart about the experience?
Yeah, so I feel like, so I have now 5 adopted siblings. So that's plenty of new personalities that I got to interact with. And I feel like, you know, when you are thinking about biological family, you assume that's who will be most similar to you. And what I loved about the process of adoption is there's something about each of my siblings that we connect or understand each other that nobody else gets. Like even my biological family members, I'm like, they don't, you know, connect to this part of me the way my one sibling does. And so I think adding those new people into your life, you actually have more in common and more opportunities for feeling that
like
sense of
discovering
deep connection.
that.
Yes, discovering that about each other. Because I think when you're biologically related, you already assume like,
Yeah.
oh, I already have this person figured out.
Yeah.
And like you said, with that choice to cleave, you have to get to know them on purpose.
Right.
And then you're like, wait, you know, you enjoy this too? Like no one else in the family has been able to do this with me, and now you want to do this with me. So it's like when you add those new people in, you get that experience of all these opportunities to connect and learn. And
We'll be meeting some of the other kids in the family, so I just wonder, is there a specific example of that, of a connection you have?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I have so many. I'm like, who would I choose from?
I know.
I think so Ruthie has such an interest in like fashion and design.
Oh,
She really
yes.
has like an artistic eye.
Yep.
We love talking about that, and especially when she got here, like we would always
Yes.
go on and on.
Yes.
Agnes has that emotional sensitivity.
Yes.
So anytime we needed to have that deep
well.
conversation,
Yes.
she was
Yes.
always like my go-to person. Like I need to cry a little bit, you know, and
She's there for you.
Exactly. And I feel like the boys brought out a sense of playfulness that I didn't get with just sisters before.
Yeah.
And when I had brothers for the first time through adoption, it was this side of me I hadn't seen before, where I was like in touch with this playful side of myself that was I was disconnected before. So I think, you know, each of them have unique gifts, and it's just fun that like I know who I go to, like who is my person for the different things I need. And it's like God knew that I needed every one of those people in my life and like gave them to us. So
That's really special.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I hope you've enjoyed this. We'll have lots more conversations about siblings, about kids and how they get along, and how we as second moms can handle the journey. Just remember, love plus time equals victory.
Yes, and if you have any follow-up questions for me, I'd always be happy to answer.
See you in the comments. I'm praying for you.